Hello students, here I am today with the exercise of the early nationalists that we had done the previous day. The early nationalist exercise, the first part is the short answer questions. Question number 1, which period of the national movement is known as the period of early nationalists? The first phase of the national movement starting from 1885 till 1907 is known as the period of early nationalists. Question 2. Name any 3 leaders of the Congress who are known as early nationalists. W.C. Banerjee, Dadabhai Naoroji and Surendranath Banerjee. Many others are also there. You can add them like Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta, Badruddin Tayyabji and all. 3 I have mentioned. Question 3. Mention 2 reasons for the early nationalist faith in the British sense of justice. They had faith in British because the British brought Western education for Indians. They also brought modern innovations with the telegraph, telephone, railways and many others. Question 4. What were the methods adopted by the early nationalists in the freedom struggle? We had discussed they had adopted the 3P method of prayer, petition and protest. They also criticized the press, criticized the British government through the press. They held meetings to make the public aware of the situation. Question 5. What was the belief of the early nationalists regarding the British rule in India? They believed in the justice and fair play of the British. They believed in the loyalty to the British crown. They thought if they were loyal, the British will bring changes in the government. They had the sense of justice. Question 6. What according to the early nationalists was an obstacle in India's progress? They thought India is not able to progress because of the social and economic backwardness of the Indians. Question 7. What kind of self-government did the early nationalists demand? They demanded the self-government through gradual process. Question 8. What did the early nationalists oppose in the field of civil liberties? They opposed the Preventive Detention Act. They opposed the restriction of the freedom of speech and freedom of press. Questions like 8 to 14 are not from the part of scope of syllabus, so we will skip them. We will go next to question number 15. Question 15. Name the leader who was known as the Grand Old Man of India. It was the Dadabhai Naoroji. Question 16. Mention 2 contributions of Dadabhai Naoroji to the national movement. For the national movement, he set up an association called East India Association. He also set up the London India Society in association with W.C. Banerjee. He presented the drain theory. He explained the economic exploitation through the book called Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Question 17. Who is known as India's unofficial ambassador? Dadabhai Naoroji is known as India's unofficial ambassador. Why is he known so? Because he presented the miserable conditions of people in the British Parliament, though he was not formally appointed for such a task. Then, question number 18. What was the drain theory referred to by Dadabhai Naoroji? The drain theory explained how India's wealth was drained off to England systematically through higher salaries and also in other ways like highland revenue. Question 19. Who is the author of the book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India? The author was Dadabhai Naoroji. Question 20. When and by whom was the Servants of India Society founded? It was founded in 1905 by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. 21. Name the first Indian who passed the Indian Civil Service examination. It was Surendranath Banerjee who first succeeded in ICS or Indian Civil Service examination, passed the examination. 22. Against which two acts did Surendranath Banerjee start agitation? He started campaign against Arms Act, Vernacular Press Act. Then comes question number 23. Who took the leadership in convening Indian National Conference in 1883? It was Surendranath Banerjee. An All India organization or conference was called by him in 1883. 24. List briefly any two causes that Gopal Krishna Gokhale opposed. No, it is he supported the British. He supported the British by following the constitutional means of agitation. He supported the Minto-Morley reforms. Question number 25. How did the early nationalists help in the growth of nationalism in India? They helped in the growth of spread of nationalism by following the constitutional and peaceful method, and they also believed in the gradual development of Indian people. They were all short answer type questions we have talked about. The long answer type questions, also including some of the questions not in the scope, find them out and write. Question 1 I try to explain. The period from 1885 till 1905 was dominated by the early nationalists. In this context, answer this. To which segment of society they belong to? They belong to the society of educated middle class, or they belong to the group of intelligentsia who were intellectual people. Question B, what were the demands? Demands is not mentioned in the scope, so we are not learning. C, what method did they adopt? They adopted constitutional and peaceful method. One of the methods was also said to be the 3P method. This much in the exercise I had planned to give you. Write them and other structured question also try to answer. Don't answer extra that is not asked in the scope to learn. Keep learning. Stay happy. Bye-bye.